shadows creep in darkest night. Fear is rising out of sight. Haunted visions hide and seek. Doug's night terror's gonna freak. Whispers in the chilly air. Ghostly faces.
Welcome to Doug's Night Terrors, where I watch horror movies and content just before bed in an attempt to give myself some night terrors. So today we're going to do something a little different. This is 30 minutes of crazy, creepy encounters told on the Joe Rogan podcast. So who put this together? Wealth Gen. So let's check this out. I don't know what this is. I mean, it's just going to be excerpts from Joe Rogan's podcast, but just looking at the first image here from episode 2020 with the symbol here. All right, let's get into it. Gonna check out some creepy JRE stories. There we go.
The Satanic Ritual Site and Creepy Doll.
I've found vehicles that were used in crimes dumped out there. I've found dogs from dog fights that were dumped out there. I've found animals that have just been dumped. I've found very intricate and mind-blowing satanic rituals and sacrifices out there.
What?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Is this like a hunting buddy or something?
Which I found different stuff before. You know, I'll find maybe where someone was doing some voodoo, some Santeria, sacrificed a chicken, whatever. All that's like kind of normal out there. That's not that crazy. But what I found this night was very crazy. Yeah, the police came and investigated it. It made the news. And that's the facility I was hunting. It's actually an abandoned space rocket facility from the Cold War, where they were developing and testing space rockets. I was out there, you know, hunting these snakes, and this facility is you need special access. I was given special access by the state of Florida to remove pythons from out there. And nobody can just go back out there, but people do go out there, as you can see from the graffiti and different stuff like that, usually to do stuff that they're not supposed to do. There's a lot of crimes committed out there. There've been murders out there, gang initiations, all kind of stuff.
So they have a pentagram that's...
So
with blood in the middle of it.
It's a whole thing.
So something was killed over there.
The first thing I came across was a big rock pile with a upside-down wooden cross on top, and a bunch of red spray-painted upside-down crosses all over. And you could tell the cross, I think, was burnt a little bit. And it wasn't, you know, crazy, super crazy. It was like, oh, this is new. You know, this wasn't out here a few days ago. And then I found this little doll. And as I kind of investigated that doll more, a little red...
Okay, he's going to talk more about the doll. I just wanted to interrupt this to say that apparently this guy... Mike Kimmel is a licensed wildlife trapper, an invasive, dangerous species, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so he's a hunter.
Scarlet snake actually came up and wrapped around her neck. And I picked up this, there it is. I picked up the scarlet snake. And,
okay.
Which, you know, it was kind of weird that there's a live snake, a red snake on this doll. And I've caught a lot of snakes in my life. And that is the only one that was bleeding out of its anus. There was blood coming out of its beehole.
What?
Which, you know, I don't know why. Who knows what. It was a little...
Somebody cornholed a snake?
Weird to me. And then the night just kind of gets weirder from there. You see the red lettering. There was a big Latin saying, like 100-foot long pretty much, on the road. I drove over it. We later translated it to turn around, run, hide, he is watching you. Go further into the complex and there's these big abandoned buildings. I go into the building, you know, still just python hunting. Like, you know, who knows what these kids are doing out here. I thought it was strange, the Latin. Your average kid just messing around don't know Latin sayings like that.
Yeah. This
And
isn't
then
kids.
I come to this big room where there's the big pentagram. In the middle of the pentagram, there is a
Bloodstains.
three-legged plastic chair with a blood stain in the bottom of it where you can
Oh,
tell something
wow.
was killed, sacrificed, whatever.
So if they're sacrificing
On
chickens,
each
a
wall,
chicken doesn't need a
3
chair.
walls. On each wall, there's upside-down crosses, Latin sayings, and all kinds of stuff. As I'm kind of walking into the room, which, you know, I don't want to sound like a psycho or anything, but that doll from earlier grabbed my leg. I don't know if I kicked it, I didn't see it, or what. But that doll from the rock pile somewhere
The
else.
doll with the
I don't know
bloody
if it was
snake.
another doll or what. I never
Grabbed
seen
his
that
leg.
Other doll. I kick it. It seemed like it grabbed me. It's that same doll from earlier. Same thing with the cross on its forehead. The one eye cocked over, the other eye messed up. And so, you know, it's very, very weird to me. It kind of like scared me.
So
right next.
It wasn't
Yeah, no
there,
crap.
and then it was there. So
I didn't notice it. I didn't
You
notice
didn't
it.
carry it over there.
No, I didn't touch it. I
So
didn't touch
did
it.
anybody else? Was anybody else
No.
with you?
I had 2 guys with me that didn't even want to get out of the truck when they seen the first thing. They stayed in the truck.
So the same
They
doll
didn't
that you
touch
saw on
anything.
the rock pile somehow made its way to where you were.
Yep. I don't know if it's a duplicate doll or what.
Okay,
but
Annabelle.
It's
Was
same.
there more than one of those dolls?
Only doll I seen. Only doll I seen.
Chucky's second
I'm
cousin.
Not big on the whole supernatural thing, so I'm real doubtful of it in the first place. But to me, it was the same doll from earlier. I did not see it until it hit my foot. Right next to that doll, there is a saying on the ground that says, "The omen will follow."
The omen
Which to me
will
was like the
follow.
creepiest thing of the whole
So
thing.
you're being followed
Was
by
like,
something,
you
buddy.
know, that if you interact with any of this spirit's going to follow you. Very strange, right? Very strange. As
Yeah,
we go
no-
through,
no
there's
crap.
all kind of different stuff. In
And
one
this
of
guy's
the
a hunter,
rooms,
too.
there's a
It's
sleeping
not like this
bag. There's
guy's
something
a
inside of it. I
supernatural
don't think it was a
investigator
body or
type.
anything like that. Police went out there, investigated it. I didn't investigate further past that. Something was inside the sleeping bag.
I see
and
you.
on
Help.
the walls,
What does it say?
there was looked like red
Sacrifice.
spray paint, and it said she was only 9. We gave her to the devil, like basically talking about sacrificing a child. And then you
Yeah.
have this little girl's gown that's nailed to the wall with like a dark red stain on it.
Oh, my God.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
And what was the investigation? Did you follow up and find out what they found out?
I never heard anything from it. I'm assuming they never found much from it because I never heard anything
So
from
he
it.
told
Did
the
they know it was
authorities
Human blood?
and then never heard
Was in the
anything about it.
chair
I don't know.
or on the-
I don't know. I would like to think it's red spray paint, but
Yeah, some kind of prank.
I don't know. Who knows what it was?
Yeah, you hope it's a prank.
So, you know, we continue on with our hunt. We end up starting to get out of there. The guys are like, dude, we want to go. We don't like this shit. I'm like, all right, you know, let's pack it up. Let's go. So we start making our way out, and I see flashlights. I mean, there's one road in, one road out. There's a gate at the end of it. You can't drive a vehicle in. And I mean, we're miles out here. You have to drive miles to then walk miles, right? So I see this flashlight bouncing on the side of the road as I'm driving out. And I'm like, who the
So
fuck
somebody's
is
out
this?
there with
No,
you.
I've never seen anyone out here in my life, ever. Getting closer to him. I have my pistol in my truck. I put my pistol on my lap, you know, just in case.
Yeah.
As I'm getting closer, about to kind of pass the guy's like, Mike. It's my name. And he's like,
He knows
I love
his
your
name.
Instagram.
Oh, okay.
Hitchhiking after
So it's
midnight.
just some
A stranger
fan.
who
Okay,
wanted
never mind.
more.
I never talked growing up. I was the kid in the corner.
Okay.
And like girls would form groups and talk about which guy they want to fuck, and I wouldn't even be. They're like, Dave's sitting right there, and they're like, yeah, he's not even on the fucking roster. And I'm like, so I go, wait, is this racist? Yeah, but what has it? How can I turn this around? What it did for me. The Asian superpower is
The Asian
if you're not seen and
superpower.
you're not heard, and we're seen as non-threatening. I can go
Oh, I
anywhere.
see.
I can go
Okay.
anywhere. and people open up to me.
The Asian
I've been
superpower.
to the Congo. I've been to third world countries. I've been to every fucking state in America. I might be the most American person. Like, I've been to every fucking state. I've hitchhiked from the time I was 15 to every fucking state, every country, and I've talked and because when people see, oh, that guy's Chinese, he's like Jackie Chan, or he's whatever
He's
they
like
think,
Jackie Chan.
they don't think that I'm gonna do anything or say anything or I'm gonna pose any threat. So they just open up and they say the most, I don't know, like. When I started hitchhiking, people said, no one's going to pick you up.
I mean, it sounds ridiculous,
right? Like
but this is
60s,
his experience.
70s, everyone hitchhiked, and then something weird happened in the 80s.
Without sounding
like, you're gonna
racist,
get raped,
it almost
kidnapped,
makes
murdered,
sense
you know?
that people wouldn't
But
be threatened
I don't
by
think
an
so.
Asian guy.
I think if I put my thumb out
Or
and
Asian
ask
female.
for help, someone's going to give it to me.
I don't know
And with
why that
I
is.
got to see the world for free. I got to go everywhere. And much like what happened was I would
I guess
sit
you don't hear
shotgun,
too many
and I'm
about too
getting
many
these free
Asian
rides,
serial killers.
And two things would happen. Either the driver has a long drive
And
and they
things
want
like
someone
that,
to
you know
talk
what I
to,
mean?
or they want me to talk to them. And something would happen, and like I'm in the car
I'm
right
sure
now
they
with a
probably
complete
exist.
stranger. Anything could happen. And the first hour is always small talk. How long you been on the road? What you do? You know, it's all that kind of stuff. Something switches when they know the ride's about, like I'm about to get out or whatever. I'm never going to see this guy again. I'm never going to see this guy again. So now
So
we've
they
been
start
talking about news,
confessing?
sports and weather for an hour. Last 10 minutes, I fucked my sister when I was 12.
Whoa.
Everything comes out. So I've heard, think about how many rides I've hitchhiked.
How old was he? He was 12. How old was his sister?
I don't know. It was 8. I mean, everything.
That would scare the hell
Drugs,
out of me,
incest,
dude. Hitchhiking.
You know, I
The
killed
type
somebody.
of people that would pick you up
Murder.
are probably not the
murder
type of people that you
confessions.
want to
I've
pick
heard
you up.
the most
What,
insane.
Hold one at a time. Murder confession.
I don't know if I should be telling you.
You
Murder
definitely should be.
confession.
A guy confessed to me that he was thinking of raping me when I stayed at his house.
Oh, Jesus. You
Like-
stayed at his house? You didn't just hitchhike. You hitchhiked.
Hopefully this wasn't
I
at
was
the
in,
beginning of the
I was
stay.
in the deep
Hopefully
south.
this was at the end
was
of
in
the
the
stay
deep
that he
south.
told you this.
It was like I was trying to hitchhike from LA to
Because that
to
stay
New
would
York City.
end real
I was
quickly.
with my friend Brian. Same thing. No one's gonna pick up two fucking dudes. And John Wayne picks us up, cowboy guy.
John Wayne.
10-gallon hat. You know, damn, you boys look, you know, hot out there. Get in the car. And he's telling us about shrimp po' boys, and you know, he works on a offshore oil rig, and it's
Okay.
2 weeks on, 2 weeks off, and it's just 2 weeks off right now. So he's like, "Where are you guys headed?" And we're like, "We're just trying to get to New York." New York? What you want to go there for? A bunch of queers out there. I don't know. We want to check it out.
Yeah, but
You guys wanna
you
stay at
just
my
said
house
this
tonight?
the same guy
Like,
that was
this guy looks like grandpa.
saying he's going to rip
Just
you.
cowboy boots, cowboy hat, just big gut. Like, he's a dude.
Can you even say the R word on YouTube?
Yeah, I'm young. I'm
I
17
mean, it was
or
on
18 at this time.
JRE, so I
We
guess.
get to his house in fuck, this is what I'm talking about. It's a tiny town in Louisiana, deep south.
Okay.
Like, we get in his house, Die Hard movie collection, Rambo movie collection,
Of course.
shotguns,
Yeah.
and
Lube.
just a
Lube.
dude, just a man's man.
Nice interjection
And he
there,
has
Joe.
and his part-time job is an anesthesiologist. That
Part-time anesthesiologist.
part-time and then part-time offshore.
Who's a
oil rig.
part-time anesthesiologist?
And I'm, you know, this
if you're
is
having surgery,
summertime,
do you
deep
want
south,
your
covered
anesthesiologist
with,
to be
like,
part-time?
Grease and mosquitoes, living outside on the road, hitchhiking. He's like, "You guys want to take a shower?" I'm like, "Fuck yeah!" I'm the first one in the shower, and then I come out. I got the towel wrapped on. He's like, he made us like a frozen pizza or something, and there's a protest on the television. It's San Fran. This is 1993 or 94. There's a protest of something with gay people in San Francisco.
Was it
And
protest
they're
or gay
protesting.
pride parade?
And he's watching it. He's like, I'm like, "What?" He's like, "I'm queer. You never see me out there protesting." And
Oh,
I'm
there you
like,
go.
"Oh shit!"
why was
And
he
then
upset
and
about
then my
going to
friend
New York
Brian, who's
then?
Covered in grease and dirt. He hasn't showered yet, and I'm like, "Oh shit!" And I started getting my clothes on, and you know, it's one thing to be gay, and then it's one thing to be picked up by like a
A big gay guy with a cowboy hat who takes you to his house.
And
so
shotguns.
and And here's the thing. I don't want to discourage people from hitchhiking. This is one weird incident.
Do you have to discourage people? How many people?
So he's like, hey,
need you
Brian,
to discourage them from hitchhiking
Why don't you take a
these
shower?
days?
No, I'm okay. I'm all right. You're filthy. Why don't you get in there and take a shower? He's like, no, I'm all right. I'm okay. And I go, oh, fuck. What do we do? You know, I do a little powwow in the corner. He's like, he's old. We can take him if he tries anything.
Yeah.
We're tired. We were fucking so
But he's
tired.
armed.
We're like, he looks like he was like falling asleep on his couch, and he goes, he's gonna go to sleep soon. Let's just stay the night. It's fucking conditioned in here, and then let's leave first thing in the morning before he wakes up. I'm like, okay, let's just do it. All right, boys, I'm gonna turn in. I'm like, yes. So we take the couch, and I go, let's sleep in a formation, and let's take turns. We should have just left.
Dude, I don't think I can handle that. How do you sleep?
You stay up for an hour.
in that
and then wake me
situation?
up. I'll stay up for an hour. And then we'll leave crack of dawn. You know.
I have trouble sleeping if I have company over
I
my
had
house.
a pocket knife, so I slept like this. I took the knife and I put the thing like this, and I slept like that, and I stayed up for the first hour, and I see him walking around his room. The lights are on, and I'm like, this guy's not going to sleep. Midnight, 1 a.m. He's still. I'm like, what the fuck? Why won't this guy go to sleep?
Putting his masks on.
So I nudge Brian. I go, hey, it's your turn. I got him. I'm going to fucking pass out. He's out cold. I'm like, fuck, dude.
Yeah.
Man, I'm too tired. And I go, okay, I'm just going to stay up the whole night. So I'm up. I'm like, guys are closing. Bring him back up again. Gripping the knife. And then sometime around 5:30 in the morning or something.
Oh my God, here we go.
My eyes are closed, but you know when you feel someone.
Mm-hmm.
So he comes out of his room, and he's standing there, and I could see, and then I go, oh shit, and then I grip the knife, and I go, this is it. It's gonna happen right now.
It's go time.
And he just leaves. He goes out the door, and I go, oh, like. And then I wake up Brian. I go, Brian, let's get the fuck out of here. He's like, what's going on? He's like, dude, he just left. He's like, okay, I'm going to take a shower then. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, if he went to the store or something, like, he's not going to
get some duct
Yeah,
tape.
he's not going to be back for, I'll jump in and jump. I go, dude, let's just go right now. Like, I don't know if he was jerking off or what. Like, I had my eyes closed, but he was standing right there. And he's like, I'll be quick. So he runs in, takes a fast shower. We get our clothes on. And like, just as we're walking out, he's like, hey, he like pulls in. You guys leaving without saying bye? I just went to the market to get some eggs for breakfast. And I'm like, oh, dude. So I'm like, I have the knife in my hand the whole time. I go, like, it's that thing where I'm a people pleaser. You know,
I don't know.
I'll even put my
do
own
you
life at
shower?
risk.
You find out he left. You know he's coming back.
For me, you know, like,
do you risk it and take
yeah,
the
sure,
shower?
we'll have some eggs.
Your friend's
So we
outside
go in,
watching.
And the guy starts talking about his wife and how he works on this offshore oil rig with like a younger dude. It's just two guys running this whole oil rig. And the other guy just talks about how much he hates gay people the whole time, not knowing that this guy is.
Wow.
And then he just like all the other times I've been picked up, he starts opening up about how he was married, he has a bunch of children, and then he figured out he was gay. And then he's just like, I could see it. He knows we're on our way out. He's never going to see us. Let's just fucking let it off. You boys look so cute on the side of the road there last night. And it's like, I was so, like, I'm so lonely. I don't get to, you don't know what it's like to be a queer guy in the deep South.
I'm just laughing because of this B-roll of some random dude.
When I came out this morning and I saw you guys sleeping together.
Like if somebody recognizes
you guys
that dude,
on
they're
the
going to like
couch, you look so beautiful.
associate
and
him with
perfect.
this
And I'm like,
story.
oh my fucking God, dude. And then he says, I thought about just, if you guys wouldn't mind if I just touched you a little bit. And I'm like, what the fuck? And, we once again, I froze. I'm like, oh,
This is him shooting his shot.
Yeah, so and so I said, yeah, we're gonna leave now. So we just booked it. And then all of his neighbors were black. Like he lived like in a black neighborhood, and like the houses are on stilts because of the swampland and whatever. And I don't know if he's done this before, but as we ran out, like I heard like the kids laughing, and they're like, "Oh, Tom, they're trying to do it again," and I'm like, "Oh fuck, like this isn't the first time." Like,
Oh, of course.
And
Another group of
look, man,
young
this is-
boys leaving his house.
They came at night.
Any person that you run into in the woods is scary. It's weird. Like if you,
Yeah.
I always said that.
Even though you're in the
everything
woods, too.
is scarier. Like if you saw a naked baby in the woods, you'd be like, "What's that baby doing here?"
Exactly.
Baby just standing there looking at you.
Suspicious
There's something
baby.
weird about the woods in general. And if you were walking through a mall and a man was walking your way, it's just another person. Like, hello, hi. You know, you're at the park, see a guy, normal. But if
Yeah.
you're in the middle of nowhere in the woods and you see another person,
You have to assume
there's
they're
this
thinking the same
moment
thing
where you're
about
like,
you, though.
What's this guy up to? Who is he? What's he doing? Is he dangerous?
Yeah, and I think that's because we're all raised in an urban environment, more or less nowadays. And so having lots of people around is normal, but to have one person in a pretty remote area, we don't experience that very often anymore.
Well, there's also no one is going to help you there.
Right.
If you're alone in the woods, there is this weird, like if you're some crazy serial killer guys out there, like, and you're backpacking, you're like, like now I'm at the mercy of this person if they're crazy.
I have a chapter in my book where I describe an event that I'm basically been a real private person all my life until this book came out. And once I wrote this book, I had to bring up stories that are very personal to me. And I had an event one night that was terrifying, probably the most terrifying thing that's ever happened in my life. It involved humans.
Okay, here we
So,
go. Of course,
yeah,
it involved
I totally
humans.
get that. People in
What
places
happened?
where they
Can you tell
shouldn't
us?
be. I'll just give you the elevator speech part of it.
Okay.
So I was in my cabin at night, and the dog started growling. I had very big dogs. I always have dogs. And I looked
That's
out
good.
my window, and it was winter, and it was cold, and I could see a couple of guys out there lurking around. And I was in the middle of nowhere.
Just
And then it
standing
kind of
outside.
digressed from there. So
What?
For
To what? What
the
happened?
only first and only time in my life, I pulled a gun on these guys.
Really?
Oh,
Yeah, I was in
well,
danger.
yeah,
What were they
of
doing
course.
out there?
Well, they came
100%.
to pay me a visit.
They knew who you were?
They called me by name, which
Oh,
was
boy.
really freaky. So you think somebody in the woods walking around scary? Wait till you see somebody who you don't know who it is and they call you by your first name. That's freaky.
And what
Yeah.
did they want?
I didn't find out because I pulled a gun on them.
Yeah,
Wow.
fair
I
enough.
drove them off. And it was
So
terrifying to me it was not terrifying at the moment because I was absolutely focused, like predator focused, calm. But after they left, I started to shake and yeah, kind of after the adrenaline surge happened. They were drunk.
Oh.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
And so how did they know who you were?
Well,
Do you
they
know?
were sober enough to see the
working
gun and not
up
come
there.
back.
I was kind of a novelty, a young blonde woman. I was only about 25, living alone, studying wolves. And at the time, there were other people coming and going, studying wolves. But at that winter, I was alone. I was working behind the customs station right on the Canadian border, and they were hauling logs down out of Canada, bringing in the customs station. They would have to transfer the logs to an American truck, and then the Canadian trucks would go back. And I temporarily took a job as the knot bumper at the log deck landing, which means my job was to run a chainsaw, trim off the branches, trim the length of the log to exactly fit the log bed. Anyway, so I was around. So these loggers knew who I was, and I was, I was cordial enough. But it was two of those guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I
Haven't
never
seen a
told the
woman
story
in
till I wrote this book. And
6
I just
months
thought
or whatever.
it's a part of me that's very personal. It's a part of me
Yeah,
that
I don't know how women deal with like a woman alone. Not to
And
be
I had
sexist,
one
but
old logger.
you're
old
just
Bob.
a big target.
He saw me on the road the next day. I was pretty shook up, and he stopped. We chatted often.
I mean,
and he says, "So."
We just
I hear
watched
you
a
had some visitors
situation
last
where
And I looked.
it was a couple of guys dealing with something that might have happened, but that's a lot more rare than a female alone.
That up because he was up in his log truck. I said, "Yeah." He says, "You don't have to worry. That won't happen again." He's kind of like watching out for me.
So how did he find out that you had visitors?
The Logger Network, the CB radios. I don't know. I didn't tell anybody, but
Oh,
he
wow.
knew.
Oh, so they
right
told
away.
somebody.
Yeah, it's humans that you have to be scared of.
Totally.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no serial killer mountain lions,
100%.
right? They just have a purpose in nature.
I think about that all the time when I watch horror movies. The scariest ones to me, well, the demonic stuff still gets me, but I can rationalize those. The ones where there's just some crazy guy, Michael Myers, you know, Art the Clown, the ones that could actually happen in real life. I do got that religious background, so the demonic stuff gets to me too, but whatever.
Sure.
Yeah.
At least I can explain
They
those.
kill because they eat.
Well, that's what their job is.
People are
Yeah.
weird.
people are
You think
Really
out in the
fine about
woods, you'd
their
have to
being
worry
weird. I
about
love that.
animals
Yeah,
more than
especially
anything
men.
else, but
Men in the woods are scary.
Creepy
men in
that
the woods are
wanted
definitely
more.
I
scary.
dodged
happen.
2 molestation attempts.
Really?
Yeah, 2.
Oh,
What'd
God.
you dodge?
Well, I dodged one of them when I probably was like 7 or 8 years old. That was the scare. Well, they were both pretty scary, but that was the scarier one because I was at the library and I was by myself. You know, I was a latchkey
Yeah.
kid. My parents just let me out of the house. You know,
Yeah,
at the
that
time
was
kind of
everybody back
In
then, dude.
retrospect,
Me
like,
too.
Thinking about it now, like I couldn't imagine
Latchkey
letting my
kid
7-year-old
is just
Public
fucking
library.
wander around.
how things
Not
worked
just that,
back
like,
in the
walk
day.
to the public library, you know, in San Francisco. And this guy, and so I was reading these books in this, they had a section of like, you know, monster books.
Yeah.
And this guy came up to me and he goes, do you like monster books? I go, yeah. And he goes, oh, I have some monster books in my car. You want to see them?
No, of course you do.
Okay. Like, I didn't know any better. I was
Yeah.
8 years old or whatever it was. And as I'm leaving with this guy, the librarian starts screaming, Joseph, you get away from that man. You know, like,
Yeah.
that man just got out of jail. And she yells at him to get out of there, and the guy runs away, and I just started crying, and I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
So I dodged that bullet. And then another time, when I was 13. When I was 13, we were hanging around this lake in Jamaica Plain. It was this like Jamaica Pond was this place we would go and fish.
I think everybody's
And
got
there was another
this sort of
pond that was like
story.
this neighboring pond that was like slightly smaller.
Not
And
everybody
this guy
has
was
been a
always,
victim,
like, running
but
around
everybody's
the
got
lake.
that
He was
story where
jogging,
back in the
and
day,
me and my friend Josh
when you think
would be
back on
hanging
it,
out.
you're like,
This guy would
oh,
come over
wow,
and talk to
that's
us.
what that
You know, he
was.
seemed like a super normal guy. He used to be a teacher, and he had retired, and you know, look, he probably was like in his 60s. And one day, it's just me.
He went for it.
One day, it's just me, and I'm fishing, and he comes by, and he's drunk.
Damn.
And he tells me he loves me, and I'm like super confused.
How old were you?
13.
Okay.
And I had been talking to this guy on and off. I had seen him, you know, for months.
Yeah.
Like he'd come by, say
This is
hi. It was
Joe
always
Rogan
like casual,
pre-spinning back kick.
good-humored, very friendly, but he was like setting us up. And he comes by, and then I realize after, he tells me he loves me, but there can be no love without sex. That's what he says. And I'm like, what? And I had a knife. So I remember, like, I grabbed my knife in my pocket, and I had my hand on my knife, and I was like, oh my God, I'm going to have to stab this guy.
Damn.
Yeah. I was like, this is going to, because there was no one around. There was no one around. It was
Wow.
just trees and
When you were 13,
forest.
you were
I
like,
was
I'm going to have to
13.
stab.
Oh, I was going to
Okay. So I was expecting a little something different from that video. I thought we were going to be talking ghost stories and ghost hunter type stuff. So I don't know. I think there are probably some JRE ghost story compilations or something. I'm going to check those out. I thought maybe the Alex Jones, I forgot what the name of this place is, where all the politicians go and they worship some deity or whatever. I forgot what the name of that place is. Let me know what the name of that place that Alex Jones recorded in. I know Joe Rogan talked about it a couple of times on videos or on episodes that I've seen. Because that was a weird story. I thought maybe that was going to be included in here as well as ghost hunter type stuff. The first one though was a little bit like that because we had a pentagram some blood in the middle. The chair in the middle got me a little bit because I'm thinking I see a pentagram and the chair is in the image as I'm thinking this. I see a pentagram. I'm thinking, they sacrifice a chicken or whatever the hell. You know, I eat chicken, so that doesn't bother me so much. But a chicken doesn't need to sit in a chair. So who do they got there that's sitting in the chair? And then later on, he talks about the young girl's dress hanging on the wall and what they said they did. So that messed me up, or that's messed up. But also the doll grabbing his leg. I mean, he rationalized it and all that stuff, but the doll grabbed his leg. The snake with the bloody ass. First of all, I didn't even know snakes had rectums. As stupid as that sounds, I know they gotta poop, but I just never thought about it. So, but these other ones are just creepy encounters with some creepy people that could wind up doing some stuff to you if you're not careful. So yeah, what I got out of that is don't hang out in the woods or in abandoned places, and don't pick up hitchhikers. Done. Never have to deal with that. I just stay locked in my house, avoid human beings, and I'll be fine. All right. If you got this far in the video, think about subscribing. Think about giving a like to the video, and I'll see you next time.